What kind of stock market is this? You guys see this? It updates every 5 seconds. Right? This is not, doesn't even say bid ask. What the fuck is this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How is this not changing? 19, 20, 21. Oh, this is the bid, of course. It actually changed sort of at the same time as Godel. Godel's showing 87 cents by 50 cents. This is showing 50 by 87. This Godel just changed 49.74. Yeah, 30-cent spread. No, these are 1 second. I don't think the candles makes a difference for the bid ask. Otherwise, you'd see 1 every second. Yeah, so once we have New York Stock Exchange included, because you just don't get, guess how much, what percentage of trades from Amgen actually happen on NASDAQ? Take a wild guess. It's actually really interesting. Plenty of professionals use TradingView. Well, Amgen is a NASDAQ stock, so it's not a small amount, but you would expect it to trade a decent amount. So at the time when the volume at today was 54,000 shares, my delay data, there was NASDAQ GS and NASDAQ GM. So what is that? Global market and global, what the hell is GS? Global select. Is it global select? Okay, so on GS it was 31,000 shares. Okay, so these are the same thing. So just say NASDAQ Global GM. The rest were from FINRA's ADF, which is Wall Street, basically. So not electronic. Well, not electronic in the sense you might be thinking. And then 23.99 comes from New York Stock Exchange. So you're not going to see these trades on any public system or most public systems. So we're trying to unobscure that so that you guys can see this type of thing. There's something called the Investors Exchange that has a little bit of market share. And you should be able to see all of these. That's the idea behind Nationwide. This is an electronic exchange called EdgeX. Let me show you on something like Nvidia, okay? So earlier today, Nvidia had traded 24 million shares. Guess what percent was on NASDAQ? This is really interesting, actually. This is super interesting. Only 19%. That's kind of shocking almost. ARCA, or New York Stock Exchange, $2 million. The lion's share is in the alternative display facility, which again is kind of Wall Street crossing each other. Pretty wild, right? EdgeX has 1 million shares, 5%. CBOE has this BZX exchange, the Bozo exchange. I'm kidding. Don't kill me, CBOE. I'm sorry. It just sounded funny. I love you guys. The Members Exchange. Investors Exchange. This is Nvidia's trading market share. Yeah, so FINRA's alternative display facility is a totally separate concept. And so how does that work? Well, in the alternative display facility, traders trade amongst each other. So from this, so I'll buy directly from a broker, that goes to the ADF. So here, Virtu Financial has traded the most. UBS, when I call my UBS guy, that's who I'm talking to. And MLCO is Merrill Lynch. GS, well, you can take a guess who GS is. There's Cantor. Citi. BCAP is Barclays. Does Optiver really have their own market making code? And MS is Morgan Stanley's. Not traded very much at all today. But the reports into the ADF are a little squirrely. You can report them late. Yeah, Optiver has their own thing. I never knew that, actually. This is Northern Trust, NTRC. So what's interesting about this is there's only 3.5 million. Out of the 14 million traded in ADF, only 3.5 million is reported. So again, looking at just 19% of the volume is not very useful. So anyway, it may not matter for a lot of people, but I think that if you really want it to be exact, you should know this kind of stuff. And again, if something's going on at UBS, you might say, all right, so UBS has traded $100 million of Nvidia. You might call UBS and say, what are you guys doing in Nvidia? And the UBS guy might say, Shkreli, you haven't paid us in years. What the fuck do you want? Get out of here. But if you're Steve Cohen and you call up and you say, what are you guys doing in Nvidia? The guy might say, we had a small hedge fund, medium-sized hedge fund buy some Nvidia this morning. And he might say, okay, good to know. And using that piece of information, you might triangulate some more. There's your market lesson for the day. Yeah, the dark pools could be some of that ADF, but I don't know, dark pools aren't that active. There's really nothing dark about them, to be honest. Okay, quantum down across the board, but so is AbiVax. Sarepta's still up a little bit. No, it's not more liquidity. It's more. If you want 1 million shares of Nvidia right now, you have two options. You can write an algo or run an algo that buys it slowly, or you can go to UBS and say, I want to buy 1 million shares of Nvidia. And they'll literally, on the phone, they'll say, I'll sell you 1 million shares of Nvidia at 182.30. You say, okay, done, I bought them. Now he's short 1 million shares of Nvidia at 182.30. So he just made a calculated bet that he can get out. So he's going to be buying as fast as he can. So that's all there is to the ADF. Now the guy at UBS has to figure out, he has to print the volume at some point. And I think you're supposed to print the volume right away. But that's a rule that I don't fully know. You can ask ChatGPT, I'm sure. My respected colleague, ChatGPT. MP up 3%.